What is up, you bushy boys and girls? As your main man Bush back at it again with another dang bushy fitness vid. Today we're going to talk about range of motion. Is it important to make gains? Is it just something that science-based lifters, by the way, science-based, and then there's bro, I guess, science, or gym bro. Now, the gym bro really believes that intensity is king, and then the science lifters usually hold back on intensity and really focus on being very technical with their movements to try to maximize, both try to maximize muscle gains. I am kind of a mix of both, but if I were to lean one way, it would be the gym bro, because intensity is definitely the most important for gaining muscle. If you're not trying to create like a new stimulus with your curls, do more weight. How are you going to make progress? And for my top sets, I like to do that dang 8 to 12 rep range. I believe that's, no matter what exercise, that is more than ideal for hypertrophy, which is building muscle, and strength would be lower reps, such as 6 for like a top set all the way down to 1. And then endurance, like 15 plus. It's okay to do 15 as well for the bodybuilding. That is the main style of training I'm going to be preaching on this channel. Because, I don't know if you know, that is what the big old Bush does. Follow TikTok, Instagram, of course, I will not forget to plug that. But this is definitely a topic that has a lot of information, so stay tuned and hopefully you'll learn something. Range of motion, what is it? So it is the distance in which a joint can be extended. So your shoulder press, you start here, and then your concentric or your contraction, basically like the end part of your lift, or the top part. I'll use I guess imaginary shoulder press for this example, but the concentric, you don't exactly have to lock out your elbow. Like me, I'm a big old bush. I got really long arms. If I wasn't 5'9" with shoes on, I could be dunking on bushes in the NBA, but that's in a perfect world. So what I mean with range of motion is you don't have to completely lock out your joints. Like leg press too. Let me just do all these air examples. So with leg press, you don't exactly have to lock out your knee. You can have it a little bit bent, but kind of reaching that top. That way you're keeping the contraction, because kind of locking out your joint really stops your momentum. And that is the key with hypertrophy too, is keeping that constant tension, that time under tension tut. Of course, with like leg press, depending how far you want to go to your dang hips, that is up to you, whatever is comfortable. Don't just do these little dinky half reps I see people doing in the gym. They load up all the plates and then they just And with that super full range of motion, let's say you want to do full lockout, you're a firm believer of that. Like with bicep curls, that is definitely a lot more risky to the bicep. It's not as big of a muscle as like the quads or the hamstrings. Quads are on the front part of your leg, hamstrings on the back. Oh my, and that's the dang butt. And if you want to be really scientific, because I'm studying, whatever the heck, trying to be a personal trainer, this is the anterior of the body, or the front, and the posterior is the back. Of course, you don't gotta know all that, just say front and back like a regular human. Just taking a little time to learn about the muscle groups as well before you get too deep into training, of course, will be very beneficial for you. Because if you say you're just gonna hit legs and you do leg press and now what? If you don't know what that mainly targets, it is your quads, and you can adjust your feet, your tootsies, depending on what you want to target more. Closer is for the quads, and wider stance is for the hamstrings and glutes. I'm kind of jumping around, but range of motion is definitely not a highly debated topic, but it is one with a lot of information that people just can't seem to get. And I the big old bush, hopefully it doesn't sound too dang complicated. Of course, I want to do this kind of stuff as a profession, but explaining it to the average bush who just wants to get in the gym, get fit, it's good to know a little bit more. The benefits of using that full range of motion, again, I'm not exactly an advocate of just shook my desk, the full walkout, and I use my arm a lot, like for the bicep curl. It's just very easy to show example compared to like the shoulder press, leg press I did. I guess I could do like I'll do like a tricep extension. So the full walkout, honestly, wouldn't hurt for something like a tricep. It depends on the muscle group too. That's why fitness is hard for most people, because there is a lot to learn, and yeah, the bush is still learning. But the benefit of using the full range of motion, it'll improve your endurance for lifting, which obviously if you can lift more, you'll have more chance to build the dang muscle. You'll become more flexible. Okay, not that kind of flex, like putting your arms over your head, which a lot of people struggle with. There's like a wall. Let me just show you. I have a hat, so I'm hitting the wall a little bit. But you see my left shoulder, it definitely needs some work. Using full range of motion will definitely improve your flexibility. I need some work myself. And it also helps with static balance, and that is the stretches you hold. Like this one for your shoulder, this one for your lat, this for your pec. Well, it's good to do it against like a wall. But stuff you hold that is static and dynamic, yeah, like, see if my fat butt can do this. Jumping jack, like knee grabs, foot grabs, basically stuff that gets you warmed up, ready for your workout. That is dynamic. Having a better range of motion also helps reduce your risk of injury, because you will have that better endurance flexibility. Now let's say, you know what, I'll just do the curl example again. You're used to training them like this instead of this. You're not getting that full concentric, so when you finally go up to that, let's say, yeah, you really improve the weight and you're like, maybe I'm gonna go to the top this time, and yeah, boom. It doesn't really happen, I guess, on the way here, but on the way down. Controlling that eccentric is a lot harder, and it's not having the muscular adaptations for that is what causes injury. It's one of the most common ones. That's why I use it. Same with like bench press. If you are loading the weight or the resistance too much and you try to press, you're used to just going here, you go all the way up. Yeah, no, if you guys have seen those videos like the bicep tears, pec tears, those are the common too. That's why I'm using those examples. Yeah, they're pretty nasty. So if you're training right, kind of answering the title, of the dang thumbnail, the only thing you can do is get better, and everyone has different ranges of motion, and it'll take time to really improve those. Like things such as rows, everyone I feel like could go all the way back here, compared to like a shoulder press, really getting down here. Some people just don't have that flexibility, and that's okay. But like everything in fitness, people try to take it to the extreme. You really just need to do most of it and you will get the most results. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, listening to this dang ramble, whatever. I know I kind of jumped all over with this range of motion topic, but the answer is try to use it to the best of your ability. Don't go too extreme. Locking out on your joints is okay, but when the loads are really heavy, yeah, ideally try not to. Pretty much just like a 90-95% lockout if you must. Then yeah, obviously that concentric, get as far as you can, whether it's shoulder press, row, bench, curl, leg press, get that dang leg up there again. And I guess the last topic I didn't really touch on is, does my technique have to be perfect when I'm close to failure? And the answer is no. When you're about 5-6 reps in, aiming for that 8 to 12 top set, of course, like the big old bush preaches, your form will break down a little bit. Of course, try to keep it, the best you can. It's really that concentric part of the lift, or on the way down, the part you don't start at the top of it. Try to get to that, but completely locking out until, of course, you're done with the dang lift, obviously is gonna be a lot harder. Just get in there and be your best average bush. That's all I ask. So anyways, guys, leave a like, comment, subscribe. This lighting is great, by the way. Just imagine I made that. I'll see you bushes later.